Hello and welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. My name's Addie and today we are back with another speed build. Today we're building with the um purple, the color purple, as part of our little solid color series that we're doing. Um, Let me tell you, this house is ugly. She's horrible and deserves better. Um, so if you want to renovate it, this version is available on the gallery. My username's just the same as it is here. Um, but Lord, we are lacking in the purple department. It's hideous. It's horrible. I have, yeah. Um, I don't even have words. So you're just gonna have to, I can't even ask you to trust the process because the process is literally me just looking at what we actually have for the color purple and being like, wow, we have nothing for the color purple. Um, so there's some choices that are made that are not purple. I think they help the build be less bad. So I stand by my decisions, even though they do break the rules just a little bit. Um, so right now we are going through and doing the roof. And this is when I really start to realize, like, oh shit, we don't really have very much. We do have a few purple roofs. So I go with this one that we have going on currently, and I think it's fine. Um, I change it because I wanted like a purple house, not a pink house, a purple house. So I get like a deep, gorgeous exterior color, and then the roof doesn't make a lot of sense. So we changed the roof to black, not purple, but black. And I was really trying to make this work, but it wasn't really the purple that I was looking for. It's more of a mauve or a pink, like a dusty kind of pink, and it's not purple. Um, so we have that. The door, on the other hand, purple. She's gorgeous. We love her. Realm of Magic is like one of my favorite packs. Not because the builds are good, and not because the build stuff is complete, but rather because I really like the style. And this is actually the first build video that I'm recording. Well, the video was from before my wisdom tooth removal. This talking portion, this voiceover, that's what it's called, is from after. Um and I was gonna try to post this last Saturday, and then I had my teeth out, so I couldn't really talk, and I couldn't eat anything, and I couldn't drink any water, and so I was like, you know what? That's not gonna happen, and that's okay. Um, so this is when I decide to change the color to this interior color, and I think it's fine. Um, I think it looks good, aside from the fact that we have like no purple columns. We have a single purple column that glows. And I wanted to use white so bad, but I didn't because that's not the challenge. The challenge is not mostly purple with white accents. The challenge is a solid color purple challenge. So we go with this horrible glowing column from City Living, which is actually really cool. Like, it's a good cool column. Not for this build. This build is horrible with the purple columns. I do want to go through and renovate this, like renovate these houses to just be like not a seller color challenge, but perhaps like the vibes, right? Like this is a purple house, but does it need to be all purple? Does it need to be only purple? No. So I do want to renovate these houses. But I've got like a few, well, I've got one house in particular that I want to finish before I do that. Um, and then I decided to do this gate because if you can hear Atticus, I apologize. Um, I chose this gate because it's less purple. Like it's the same color as the windows, and I felt like it helped. And then the stair situation, desperate. So I decided to use these. They're from Island Living, and I felt like they were kind of purpley. So I decided to allow myself to use them, even though they weren't classed under purple. Because they were kind of purpley. I allowed myself to use them. And then these bushes were classed as purple, but they're actually rainbow. So I didn't use them because I felt like the lights were a bit much. Um, the plant situation was a little bit more interpretive. So instead of only purple plants, I allowed myself some green plain bushes. Um, but the flowers did have to be purple. So you will see me placing purple plants, purple flowers everywhere, instead of the normal green plants that I use. That I feel like are just they're good plants. I use them actually kind of a lot, but I don't know. And then I do end up getting, I think, three different kinds of flowers. Yeah, three different kinds of flowers. So we have hydrangeas, and then we have the Astor's Kiss or whatever the fuck it's called, and then these little bushy dudes. And then I go through and I put in some wildflowers that are like pink and purple, and I feel like that helped a lot. Just like with the monotoneness of it all, I felt like the pink like helped break it up. Even though it's technically classed as purple because it does have purple flowers, the pink flowers stand out so much, and it's nice. It's good. It needed that. And then lastly, I go through and get a few tall plants. These are purple. They're from Romantic Garden stuff. And I think they're really pretty. So we do go ahead and get that. And then this outdoor tile that I'm using is classed as purple, so I was allowed to use it. Um, and then same thing with like this, the swing set, technically classed as purple because it's like a pride one. Um, Otherwise the kids would get a toddler slide, and that kind of sucks. So we did get that, and then I also got a table. I don't know if I leave it there or if I end up moving it. And then we obviously get like a mailbox. That one, it has purple flowers, so I allowed myself to use it because their tagging system sucks. And I do move the table, so that's good. And then this was another thing. I felt like the black just like made it so much better. So I decided to allow myself to use the black fence. We did not have wall lights, so I had to use these lanterns. And then I do change the color of the planters on the windows. There we go. I did that. And then this is where I'm changing the roof. And I decide to do, I don't know if I do brown or if I do black. I think I end up changing it to black. Um, because it's just better that way. Um, so we do go ahead and do that. And then at this point, I'm trying to figure out if it's worth it to have a fence around the porch. Decide it was not worth it. So there's that. Um, and then the layout up here, kind of crazy, not gonna lie. We struggled a little bit with this one. Um, I did get a staircase, which I thought looked pretty good in this little tiny corner. So we've got the main primary bedroom. Um, and then we've got an identical layout in that bump out upstairs because there's not many other layouts that you can do with that. And then this other side, kind of weird, not gonna lie. Don't really like it. But I don't know what else the fuck I'm supposed to do with it, so she just got whatever the hell happened with her. Um, and then we do, I'm sorry that I'm like comparing. Do I like this floor plan? But I really was not sure if I liked it or not. And now we are going through and putting in all the floors. So you'll see this like horrid purple. Well, purple is very nice. It's a very nice purple. And I don't like it. It's a very bright purple. Um, so um that does end up changing to a plain wood color. Again, we don't have a lot of good options when it comes to purple, so this was kind of a challenge um, when it comes to that. And then the only thing that I was allowing across all the builds that was not purple, because they don't come in purple swatches, are like the fire alarm and the thermostat and the burglar alarm and all of that. Um, so that was, um, so that way it's like safe for your Sims. If you don't want those, you can delete them. And then I did talk over the dining room a little bit. So the dining room is actually like my favorite room in the house. It's kind of small and it's actually pretty simple. It's just a circle table that's actually really expensive. And then a few chairs from the tiny living um, pack and a rug from City Living that is a rug that I don't actually ever use and I kind of forgot that that swatch existed, but I thought it fit really well in the space, so I decided to go ahead and use it anyway. Um, and then we've got sort of this like eccentric living room space going on. Um, the TV was not classed as purple, but it is purple. It's got some purple shadows on the leaves. So I did decide to go ahead and like allow myself to use that because I felt like it worked and like it was purple. It's purple, okay? There is purple, or at least a color that looks like purple. Um, and then we are just going through and decorating a little bit. So these books are functional. They are a functional bookshelf, and then we've got some more books and this like pitcher of utensils as well. And I'm just going, this house I decided was going to be kind of eccentric, a little bit fun and whimsical. So there's a lot of bright colors and a lot of like gallery walls and things of that sort, lots of plants. And I did also include some games under that side table over there. I felt like if any house was gonna have like some sneaky hideaway games, it would be this one. And then I wanted bookshelves here because I felt like of all the bookshelves, like of all the things that could be helpful, bookshelves would be helpful. And I decided to go with these because they have some purple books. And they give sort of like purple vibes. I know that that's really loose, but I didn't like any of the purple bookshelves. So and I felt like the purple bookshelves that we have in the game didn't really fit. So I just decided to not use them. And then we do get a bunch of rugs. I was kind of disappointed that the round rugs, like the plain round rugs from the base game, don't really fit over most other rugs. Um, they tend to be a little like, I don't know if it's like a glitch or if it's on purpose, but they sort of sink to the bottom of some rugs. And I find it really annoying, because a lot of the time, like I want them on top and they just don't work that way. Um, but I did end up using it here, and then a couple of other rugs that are a little bit plant themed, and that like eggplant avocado shaped rug from Seasons in the purple swatch, obviously. And then we've got a bunch of toys over here. I imagined that the kids were sort of playing um, like the heroes were fighting the bad guys, and the bad guys were like the squid and the unicorn or whatever, the llama corn. Um, and then I did use this bed. It's from Seasons. It's my favorite bed. It's sort of simple, and that's what I like about it. This can go in like a blue room or a purple room or a brown room, and it still looks good and it adds like a little bit more color. If you hear my boy, he's very squeaky. Um, but yeah, it's like my favorite bed in the whole game, which is kind of silly because there are objectively prettier beds, but this one's my favorite because it's simple. Um, and we are just sort of decorating a little bit. I wanted to use this gallery wall from the new Pride update. It's the asexual Pride one. Even though like it's not got an ace flag on it, I didn't feel like this room called for an asexual pride flag. I thought that this house was not really gay. um sometimes I build houses and I'm like, this house is gay. This was not one of those builds. So no pride flags in here. However, we do end up getting that same gallery wall in a different swatch upstairs, in one of the bedrooms. And then I do have this like like this really pretty, what do you call it? Curtains. That's the word. I don't know where those curtains are from. I think it's growing together, but don't quote me. And then I got a little bassinet in the corner. I thought it was super cute. Um, to have like a little purple bassinet. I feel like I never put bassinets in builds anymore because it's just like, I don't know, your Sim's a newborn for like 2 days, and then they're an infant and you have to do a bunch of random shit with them, like change their diaper and teach them how to like sit up and stuff. And I honestly kind of forget newborns exist. Um, but yeah, and then the bathroom, you also have to sort of take with interpretation, because it has purple accents, but technically the colors in here are more pink. So just don't think about it too hard and you'll be fine. Um, for the remainder of the video, I think I'm just gonna kind of ramble at y'all a little bit. Um, I kind of, well, my day was fine. My day was actually really light. I went to a training. Um, so I work in medicine. I draw blood for a living. And um I get called a vampire multiple times a day. Anyway, so if anyone's meant to make a joke about it, go ahead. I hear it. It's kind of unoriginal, but it is what it is. Um, so I normally work at a clinic, but today I went to a different clinic, to do like a training, and it was actually really fun. I much prefer that clinic over the clinic that I usually work at, but nobody needs to know that. I say that and then I post it on the internet. Um, but it was it was kind of nice to like see, to like have a training, and the day was actually, I mean, the day was really light. um they actually have, this clinic has two people instead of just one. So I think that that probably helped. Like they drew 60 plus patients, but each person only drew about 30. And so that makes it seem lighter than it actually is because you're only drawing half as many people, um, which would be really nice. But our clinic can't even keep one lab person. So I highly doubt we'll get a second one. But yeah, so it was really nice to like see other workflows and see other labs, like how they work behind the scenes, because it's one thing to like go and get your blood drawn, and it's another thing to see what happens before and after the patient gets there. um so yeah, I don't know, it was kind of fun to see and like talk about like the workflow that I was taught and my clinic, and them being like, "Oh, you do like a lot of shit." And we'd be like, "Yeah, we do a lot of shit, but I'm not really sure why, and no one will explain it to me." Um, and then be like, "Yeah, we don't do those things here." And I was like, "Yeah, I kind of noticed." Um, because yeah, it's just like a lot of little steps that don't need to be there but are there, and I don't know how to politely be like, your workflow is full of shit, you know? Because people don't really want to hear that their workflow isn't very good. People are not usually open to criticism when you're the one being trained. So I yeah, I don't really know how to say that politely. And also, like, it's the only workflow that I knew of before the training today. So it was just kind of nice to like have somebody else who's been doing this a while to be like, yeah, that workflow's full of shit. Maybe you could try our way instead. And I'm like, I will be doing your way. Your way is so much easier. Granted, I can't just like change the entire workflow of my clinic. That's gonna like throw everybody off. But I can utilize some of the things to make it significantly easier for everyone. So I will be doing that. Um, and I'm very excited about it because that's going to make my life a lot easier, and it's going to make everybody else's life a lot easier. Um, so yeah. And then my wisdom teeth I got out on Friday last week. So you're seeing this Thursday, so it'll almost be 1 week from when I got them out. And it was really quick. It was like super quick. They told me um 30 to 40 minutes, and I was in and out in 20 minutes, which makes sense because it was a male surgeon. And not to scare anyone, okay, not to scare anyone, but male surgeons tend to be a little bit quicker than female surgeons. Um, so it just depends on what you're looking for. Um, but female surgeons are, I have heard that female surgeons are associated with smoother recovery periods. I didn't really have an option, so I just picked the first one available and was like, yes, you're fine. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's going well. It's just he sort of bullied my mouth into giving up the bones. And then he like broke bones in my face, because your teeth are bones, for those of you who don't realize. And then where your teeth connect to your jaw, that's a joint. So when you get your wisdom teeth out, you basically just get like a massive broken bone in your face. You get multiple broken bones in your face when you get your wisdom teeth out. So I've got some bruising, but I mean, it's fine. I will live. But I did talk over the bedrooms. We've got a teens room that is sort of neon thereby. We've got two twin toddlers, and then we've got two twin teens, or two twin children. And the twin children have two different sides. So we've got one side that's sort of gender queer themed. They don't have a gender queer pride flag or anything, but it's like the color scheme of the gender queer flag. And then we've got a non-binary pride side, and that's got sort of like an ace and non-binary vibe to it. And then we are decorating the bathroom last but not least, before moving outside and doing some, um, what's it called? Some terrain paint. So, on that note, we are moving outside and I'm getting some purple flowers, some like purple flower terrain paint. But on that note, I think we will end this video right here. If you liked this, if you would like and subscribe, that would really mean a lot. And I will see all of you next time. Bye now.